Recording is started officially. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Wednesday Market Midpoint. Brought to you by the Market Watch Group. My name is Scott. I'll be your host. As always, education and illustrative purposes only. Nothing we do should be intended as a recommendation to buy or sell any financial security or products. We're not brokers. We're not advisors. The VIX, Lee's like, let's take a look at the VIX. Let's get cracking. Yeah. All right. What are we going to do today? Let's look at the opening analysis. Pretty flat today. First thing we're waiting on is NVIDIA earnings as a representation. Yeah, we'll look at the futures. Let's take a quick peek at our posture. Actually, we probably don't really need to yet because it's only been one day. Although, interestingly, one day did what? One day gave us a higher low on the short term, a lower high on the VIX. Gave us another positive volume day that will be added to the soup on Sunday for market posture. That alone is 3/4 of a point if it holds. So if we see that, that's the kind of thing that bumps us from this 2.5 zone up into where we start to see the 3s and 4s. So yeah. Good morning, Bob Walker. Good to see you. Take a quick peek. So we've got a couple of trades that we put on, and we're saying if it holds today. Now here's the thing, right? You've kind of got this binary event later today, after market, where NVIDIA is reporting earnings as almost a proxy for the entire tech market. And so in that regard, it's more than just one company's earnings, right? There's a lot riding on that. And then we have one day. And then we have Friday. And Friday, we'll go look at the calendar again. And then Friday is a huge batch of announcements. So we'll take a look at that. But there are still setups, I would say. I mean, looking at PLTR for today, we have on our list. So let me get two more in from the waiting room and let's get cracking here. Okay, first things first, futures. I think we all have that mindset here. Trade truces are clearly bullish. The market reacts. What's the flaw? One-off deals, postponements, see in 90 days. There's potentially 90 plus circumstances all happening simultaneously. Yeah, the scalability of that's very difficult. Very difficult. But for now, we'll take the short term bumps of posturing that we get when, if nothing less, the rhetoric tones down, or they give time for deals to get structured. What else? One day at a time. That's really it, because we know we have. There you go. Look at that. It's Abercrombie, 24% on quarterly sales beat. So there's additional strength from the corporate side on consumer discretionary. What else? As we look at the economic calendar, right, press? Exactly. So today we have Fed minutes I wouldn't expect much there. I think we know what the Fed's doing. They're trying to maintain a very specific position, and so far they are, despite any pressurings that may come their way. So I think we should expect to continue to see that. Thursday we have jobless claims. It looks big Thursday, but it's really not. I mean, we do have Austin Goolsbee, and we do have second Adriana Kugler. So a couple of good ones. But mostly we just have the GDP, which no one's really, I mean, you're expecting. Actually, look, they ticked it down. I thought it was supposed to come in, but it looks like they're going to knock it down another notch. That's not really that big of a deal. Friday, income, spending, PCE, and a consumer sentiment. Obviously, the big one is the PCE. Second to that, income and spending. After that, confidence. So, okay. Okay, is that coffee? Yes, I gotta have my coffee. Okay, let's go look at the futures. Let's go. Why is my chart out of whack? Let me get this back. Okay. And let's look at the ES. Okay, so it's flat. Yeah, kind of what we thought. Yesterday was a big day. Flat is fine. We're okay with flat. We don't need it to be rallying. I'd be honest with you, I'd be fine with it even back 0.25%, 30%. I'd just be like, yeah, that's fine. That's no big deal. That's just, settling in. So yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to see how it moves today in front of the NVIDIA report, but I'll tell you, let's go to the VIX and then we'll go to NVIDIA. So someone brought up the VIX. It's looking good. We got the signal yesterday, right? The signal that we've been looking for is this lower high, which was confirmed when we took out the bottom of that top day right there. So we went up and then we turned over and got to there. So yeah, that's confirmed. Now, we talked about this a little bit, though. And as much as we are loving the bullishness that we have, as much as we are seeing new bullish trades yesterday, continuing some bullish trades from last week, and thinking about new bullish trades today, what else is developing right now? Well, if we don't, I'm going to go to a different color for this. Let's say we go flat today, and then we try to go down tomorrow, or we try to go up tomorrow, but it drops back down, and it looks like this, right? And then the next day it stalls again, and it looks like this. Now, what if at that point, all of a sudden, this comes? Oh, I lost my pen. What if all of a sudden this comes? Right? As these next couple of candles come, this is going to keep coming down and then stay in here. This is going to come down like this. And if that comes and this pops up, whoop, like that. What do we consider that? That's a higher low. And that triggers a hedge. It's not like, oh, the worst thing in the world, but at that situation right there, I'm probably going to tighten up stops. If trades haven't moved, I'm going to be closing trades, and I will buy a hedge. So as much as we love to see this bullishness, we should always have what's on the other side, right? There's always got to be devil's advocate that comes in and says, "Whoa, well, what would make us, right? What would make us be something different than that?" So I'm gonna. What do I see right now? I see the lower high, but we've got to be aware. This thing can't push for the next few days if we don't get a catalyst out of NVIDIA to keep pushing us down where we get below. Let's see what our number is. 1715. 1715. It's not a huge number. We're at 19 now. 1715. If we get down to 1715, it's the same low. If we get down below 1715, it's a lower low. And that actually is something we would say, oh, look, it's even getting more bullish still. So we're going to be watching that and seeing. This is expected with the flat opening, but it's always good, I think, to just flag and mark the fact that a higher low could be in development. That is what triggers for me, no matter what, automatic hedges. Okay, let me know if you have questions about that. Let's go get into the watch list. Okay, first things first. First things first. This is one place where there may still be trade on. I completed mine. I felt we were hitting this resistance. You can see we hit it here, then again here, then again here. It could get through. If you are still holding it, it's Wednesday. I mean, if we get some news, it could. So sure. And you could just be, evaluating how much am I willing to risk for this thing to break that top. If it breaks that top, I think it can get a quick, I'd say a quick 10 easily. If it breaks this top, I think it can get to 295 easily. So there is a prize at the end of the rainbow, I guess, so to speak. Anyone still holding the piece? Let me know. Where else did we have? How are you able to speculate beyond an ATH? Oh, yeah, because, for me, breaking resistance is a monumental achievement, especially at all-time highs, right? Like, all-time highs for me there's blue skies. There is no resistance. So I just kind of... Now, what I'm looking at, the actual projection, it's a great question. It's a bit of a triangle showing up here, actually, right now. An ascending triangle. So if you look at this ascending triangle here, the forecast for this breakout is this. Right? That is the distance. And I was looking at half of this. That's why I said it could get 10 easy, maybe even 20. It won't get this whole move in one swoop, but it could get this move in one swoop. This move here. So what I'm looking at is using great book. If anybody wants to add a great trading book to their library, it's called Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets, and it's by John Murphy. We are working on a group watch list that we're going to put on Circle, and I'll have it grouped by like, is this an options book, a trading book, a technical book, a corollary book, so that you can see. Okay, Press says he has it. It is intimidating. It's a great reference book because you can go to things like patterns, and you can be like, you know what? Let me read about patterns and the implications of them. So and as you start reading implications of patterns, you realize there's a lot of like common ground in how you look for what's next. And it oftentimes comes from the size of the pattern itself, right? Like that, the consolidative nature of the pattern is what then becomes the expectation for the next move. So I am just pulling it out like, wow, here it is. Here's some numbers, but it is rooted in, some strong technical basis. Okay. So, there is still a piece. Someone said they have a piece. Kevin still has a piece. Nice. Yeah. IBM is new. Made more sense 6 months later. Yeah. Here's a new one from yesterday. Looking fine. It's up marginally. Great. Here's another one. This one's up less marginally. Up 1 penny. You can do it. Can I get the name of the book again? Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets by John Murphy. That book is there are 2 core books that comprise the foundational basis of the CMT, Chartered Market Technician, which is the charting version of the CFA, who analyzes, P&L statements, balance sheets, things like that. So that is one of the 2 core foundational books. It's my favorite. I think he's a phenomenal writer. He's very, very good at explaining things. So any of his books are good. There's one called Intermarket Analysis he has that's very good too. Okay. This is the other trade we put on, which means if you didn't get them, they're fine to get in, right? It's just sitting right where it was. I think that's it. Does anyone else have any lingering trades? I didn't see any others that would have been from before. All of our other trades would have been out. Apple's up a little bit today. There's AbbVie. Amazon. Amazon's on my list. And what happens is now you can see there's a little bit of follow through from yesterday. What are we going to maybe have next? A continuation candle. This is it for me. If I can't get in by this candle here, it's too late. I'm not gonna wait till I'm like 5 candles, 6 candles, whatever else. If I get in here, I could put a stop, not all the way back to the bottom, but I could get my stop underneath yesterday's Heikin-Ashi low. I'm only risking about $6, $7. I want at least 12 or 14. That puts me here. Yeah, I actually would think that maybe even upper 220s. I think we're going to get through this piece fine and maybe get up into this area here. I'm not trying to get to these old highs. That's out of the range for. Does that make sense? So, APH. Let me get out of these candles, back to these candles. Yeah, we kind of missed this one. That was a big, just like fast whipsaw turn right there. Bank of America. We went with MS. I think Caterpillar's viable. I'm thinking about. So what am I thinking about? We have financials, and we have kind of a IT, IBM's kind of tech, but it sits in a funky space, I think, that allows me to still put a tech trade on. I have tech available. I have consumer discretionary available. I have industrials available. Well, here's an industrials that's reasonable looking. You can see a lot of these same patterns. Sideways, little pullback, pop. CLS starting to pass, though. That's not one. Although now that it's starting to pull back, it will start setting up into the next opportunity. CME. Oh, look at that. Look, as we say something, it starts moving. Kevin's going to be the one laughing. I think he's the only one who's like, I'm going to hold that last piece. Let your profits run. Don't you people know that? CMP. Nah, nothing there for us. Cisco was one that I was thinking about. That's a tech one. I'm thinking about Cisco maybe, or Palantir, right? Delta for a consumer discretionary as a possibility. Here's the Dow. Dow's moving today. EA. We're just kind of watching to see if an opportunity for us to collect a debt comes around. That's all. There's no revenge trading here. I'm just looking to collect a debt. And I'm patient. Flex. GE Vernova. Yeah, you can see still bullish. Gold is just still kind of loitering, lingering, holding up. Google. I don't know. I mean, I had it on my list, but as I look at it, it's like I'm not really seeing. Was that it? And then it kind of went up and did, like, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of funky right now. It's choppy. I like it. I just don't see an opportunity for us to trade it. Goldman's pulled back a little here. Hilton could still be viable. Oh, there you go. IBM doing its thing. Come on, IBM. You can do it. ICE. I don't know about ICE anymore. I don't feel like I like the way it trades right now. I'm getting rid of it. CME is better for us. MasterCard looks strong. That's a strong looking one. And look at the way this thing can move. Right? So if that was it, this is looking pretty good here. It's a second financials. Financials is an enormous sector. Plenty of room for us to consider both broker/banking areas like Morgan Stanley and credit. I could look at insurance. That's very, very different than the others. So non-correlated. Meta. I think Meta looks strong. We didn't even mention communication services. That's another one, right? Meta looks pretty strong going into the, and Meta could be in range. When it got there last time, it actually went from a lower level than we are now. Definitely would be putting a target at least right here, which would be, I don't know, 710. This thing's got some prospects. I'm liking this Meta actually. I don't think so, press. I don't think so. For me, this is the consolidation, right? Like we're just barely, yesterday it kind of started to poke its head. This is really first day. Is it pretty well off? I think you would have a Hike and Ashy you could play with on this. and get back, down in this range. So you're taking 16 risk, and you're like, 16? Well, it's a $600 stock. 16 risk to get what? Well, if my target is up here at 711, that's a 60. 16 to get 60. I'm almost 4-1. I think we look pretty good there, actually. Thoughts? What do you guys think? Yeah, I think there's some viable things for us to consider here, which is why, again, we're going to keep talking about those hedges. Bob Walker likes it. Oh, come on, Morgan Stanley. Come on, financials. Yeah, they've turned a little negative. You sons of guns. But not credit. Nvidia flat. PLTR. Ooh, PLTR. I said I would consider it, more. Let's take a look. So if it bounces off of here and it gets up into, I would say, above this range. If it gets above 125 and then it pulls back and makes a higher low on the hourly, I would take that, I think. I'm going to watch for that. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I think there's stuff setting up here. Philip Morris may be coming to an end. PayPal is still moving. There's the Qs. Roblox. Oh, man. That stock is just a champion. A champion of life. Rivian. I feel like we didn't hit this in the watch list yesterday for some reason. Did we? I like the way this is setting up. It's a real strong setup. Consumer discretionary. We said Amazon is there. We said Delta is there. Hilton is there. Rivian is there. I like the way this looks. This is not today. This would be later this week. Tomorrow, maybe Friday, right? Because you can see it's still trying to stabilize. With today would then give us I would probably say tomorrow I would want it above maybe there, 1575. Nice. Something waiting in the wings. It's on deck. Rocket Labs just sort of exploded. Nothing to do there. RTX, it's potential there. SE, a lot of different places. I mean, what does that mean? It just supports our increased bullishness. It supports the fact that right now we're thinking our posture is going to increase even again this week. Do we have to get through NVIDIA earnings and PCE and the market's reaction to those things? Yes. Yes, we do. It is. There's a plethora of things. So we can see the market's just kind of holding up. We're almost through the opening range, and what does it tell us? One, two, pull back. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with what's going on here. We're back to where we started. We'll see if they can hold. If we break above here, I think we'll end up testing some areas up above. If we break back below, I'm not worried. I think we may just float around 590 for a while, waiting to see what Fed minutes and NVIDIA announcement ends up looking like. Let's pop back out. TPR still setting up. Just kind of pausing out of that. Tesla holding, TSM, Twilio. Uber was another one we were looking at as a setup. That looks pretty clean right there. What do we consider Uber? Is that consumer discretionary? Let's see where Thinkorswim puts it. Thinkorswim says Uber is fundamentals, Come on. How is Uber industrials? That doesn't make any sense. That's a horrible classification. Horrible. Uber is industrials? Who put that there? No, I agree. I just saw the same thing, Miguel. That doesn't make sense, though, right? Where does Yahoo put it? I kind of feel like it's like a travel, like it's consumer discretionary, right? Like, do you got money for a rideshare or are you walking? Where do they profile? Sorry, I forgot where they put it in here. I haven't looked for so long. See? Uber says technology because it's a software application, but it's really not technology either. I mean, it is, and it is software, but it's use. Tony Z says, Finviz says technology as well. So Yahoo and Finviz both agree it's tech. But I don't believe it's going to rise and fall with tech. I believe it's going to rise and fall more like with travel, because when people use it is when they are spending more discretionary, right? Goods and services. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Sometimes it's a hard one. IBM's hard like that. Like they're not really technology. They don't do any technology. They're more consulting, but they consult about technology, information technology. You could kind of float it between communication services and technology, right? And so it's hard sometimes, right, to be like, well, what neighborhood does this house exist in exactly? I don't know. I luxury good, Kevin. That's right. I mean, it's an interesting one for sure. They developed their own software for, their platform that the drivers get on and use the platform, and people use the app to hail it. And there's Uber Eats and, and Uber corporate for. So, yeah, I mean, but it definitely feels like it's more transportation / consumer services, right? I don't know. Interesting. All I know is it just made a higher high, then it made a higher low, and now it's looking like it's trying to turn into a new buy signal. That's what we see. So, viability for trades. Visa, very much like MasterCard, pretty strong. VIX is kind of flat right now. Walmart is kind of sideways. Okay. Yeah, we got through the list. Depending on how things hold up, I would expect at least one more alert today. I'm not sure which one. It's hard to decide. Which means I might be putting on several trades. Give me your thoughts. Who's gonna put a new trade on today? If just like I think so. Who feels like they're maxed out? They're like, no, I think I'm gonna ride until I see Nvidia, until I see. Look, give me a tone, a temperature check here of how everybody's feeling. Gene's ready to put something new on. Took MS, but not IBM. I didn't want to change teams, Brett. What stocks do I have on the radar? I like the way Meta looks. I like the way. I like the way. I liked Caterpillar, but not so much anymore. MasterCard. I thought MasterCard looked strong. That's a strong one there for me. Meta is a strong one for me. Palantir is working its way possibly to a signal. What else did I say? Rivian is close, but not for today. Not for today. I would say those are probably my closest ones. This meeting is about to end. Tighten up stops, close trades if they haven't moved, buy a hedge if necessary. Fireflies, that advice is only upon confirmation of a higher low on the VIX. You have to put the context. You can't just put a summary without the context. Amazon. Yes, I like Amazon. I like Amazon still. Amazon there. So let's say Amazon. Let's say Meta. Let's say. Oh, look at that break. Kevin H is gonna do it. It's just for him. The market gods want to reward him for staying in. No, I don't like Hilton. I like others better. Yeah, I'd say Amazon, MasterCard or Visa. They're very similar. I'd say Meta. And I'd say Palantir. That's probably my shortest of lists for today. Too late on IBM. I mean, no, now it's right back where it was, Press. You could get it at the same price. So it gave a little flash and then pulled back. I think these are all still viable, you guys. You know. And we're putting more on. Are we loading up? No, but are we putting more on than we have been? Yeah, probably, right? Probably so. Could you see UPS? Because let's take a look. Brown delivers. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That's a nice looking trade. I mean, it's on the underside of its 50, but it's just barely coming out of this recovery, right? It broke out, new highs, pulled back, higher low. It did what it needed to do to generate a valid signal. Absolutely. No problem with that at all. It's like I'm strict about what I need, but then once it's there, I'm not strict. I'm like, look, it did what it needed to do to generate a trade. Like if someone's like, it's under the 50. I don't care. I made a higher high than a higher low. Like the buyers did what they needed to do to convince me this thing has a chance to now make a break. So yeah, I like it. So yeah, we've got 3 or 4 setting up. I'm predictable now. What does that mean? You're almost done here, Miguel? When I'm predictable? You better not. Okay. Trading plan before we go. It's so important to get these trading rules down, to have your systems so that what Miguel just said, that's my bounce system. I know exactly what fits. I know if it fits right away. That's a bounce trade. I'll be like, yep. Right? And then you work it for when it shifts to a continuation trade where you're like, okay, if I'm missing the bounce, can I still catch something? Is there something for me? That's the continuation. We talked a little bit about breakout trades, right? For me, those are the 3 core, like what else are you thinking might happen? It's either going to bounce off of something, break through something, or continue going. What else is there, right? So there are complex, like individual systems of, like moving average crossovers, or like they have all these, you can develop crazy like one-off systems. But at the end of the day, what are we trading? Bounces, breaks, and continuations. And so fundamentally, that's what systems are going to end up looking like as you get these rules down. But then it makes it easier. So when Miguel says, look at UPS, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I saw the buyers. They did something, pushed it up here. Then I saw the sellers. They didn't do something. They didn't get it back down. And now the buyers are starting again. That's the formula for a bounce. That's all I need. If it does that, and I can set a stop, set a target, get a good reward to risk, trade on. If it fits, meaning like Steve C yesterday is like, I can only put 6 on because his governors, his risk control say that's it. And that's what it should be. We should be thinking about risk management's next week. We should be thinking about our portfolio heat, our number of trades, our risk per trade, and how those 3 numbers always are, in line with each other. And right now the portfolio heat's expanding because conditions are improving, and that should allow us to take a few more trades. Anyways, good discussion right at the end. Questions about anything, let me know. Glenn will be here for the last hour, chat through it, talk about it. I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. Other than that, it's good to see everybody. Have an amazing rest of your day. As always, happy trading.